Yo, 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 what's up? It's your boy Phil here. I'm with my boy Mawaji Gaming, and we're doing a conspiracy stream tonight. I need you guys to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe, that follow, whatever you gotta do to hit that love button. Hit that love button for your boy. And without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this thing. Mawaji, you wanna go ahead and explain to the people what we're watching tonight?
So tonight we're gonna be watching the Anunnaki Chronicles. So pretty much is explaining about the Anunnaki and the civilization of the Sumerians and the stories that came before what's written today in modern religion and how we came to be and things of higher consciousness and um, ranges from science to religion. So it's like it's the first civilization, the oldest civilization recorded. It's how we came to be, how modern man came to be.
So, like the lore of humanity, pretty much.
It's the true stories of what's written in the Bible today. So the true story of Moses, everything, like where the Greek gods came from, where the Egyptian gods, everything.
Okay, so this is like the quest for truth almost.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out. All right. You guys, you can still see my browser, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
Trying to put on the TV.
So it's the fractal holographic universe. Hmm.
You hear me, Philly?
Yeah, I hear you now. Which one is it?
You don't hear yourself twice, right?
No,
It's the second one.
the fractal holographic universe.
Yeah. I'm gonna mute myself till you ask me a question.
All right, but I don't hear no echo on your end if that's what you're worried about.
It's only available on forbiddenknowledge.com with the number 4, forbiddenknowledge.com right now. I do have some books available back here. If anybody wants one, I'll autograph the book for you and personalize it after
Nah,
the
nah,
book
nah.
is
Go
finished
back. Go
tonight.
back. That wasn't
This
it.
is just a photo that I took when I.
All right.
Go down. Go to search. Just go to search.
Okay.
ANUNN. Right there. You see it with the wings. Look for episode 1. Yeah.
All right. So let's get right into it.
You sure you don't hear echo?
Yeah, I'm positive. Let's skip the intro.
George watching me with us. You don't hear me. Yo, Philly, you heard?
Yeah,
Yeah. George watching me.
you know about to
But
come
make
back
sure
in.
y'all pay attention.
Embark on a journey to an ancient culture all over the world.
Because this is what happened. The Sumerian stories are everywhere. They're the stories. Remember how I always said that religion is all the same stories told in different cultures? The reason why it was told in different cultures is because the ones that started it.
You're gonna have to talk into the mic, bro.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you gotta talk in the mic. You gotta enunciate.
Yo,
Hold on,
you hear me better?
Let me turn down the volume of the actual thing. Yeah, I can hear you better now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said, so pretty much the story of the Anunnaki is told everywhere.
I got you.
You're gonna see. As it goes on, you're gonna find out. You're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna ask me questions that I can answer.
Bet.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself till you talk.
Welcome to the
Just so I can put up, so you can put up the volume.
Series, The Anunnaki.
All right,
I am
bet.
your host, Matt LaCroix. Join me as we journey across the ancient world in search of the hidden truth behind who the ancient gods of mankind really were. I am joined by Gerald Clark and Zechariah Lang.
Together, we will explore the hidden knowledge and unravel the mysteries left behind in the remains of ancient cultures.
This isn't it. Go back.
Are we really alone in the universe, or has important information been kept secret from the mass?
Go down. Load more.
What's that nigga's name
Evidence.
that Vito always be talking about?
Evidence of Atlantis. Put evidence of Atlantis. Presentation by Billy Carson. Yeah.
So this all has something to do with Atlantis.
Yeah, the Anunnaki started
All
Atlantis.
right, welcome to the workshop. My name is Billy
I
Carson.
thought it was an alien.
Again, you'll have to
civilization.
excuse me for clearing my throat a few times. I've been having a little bit of asthma lately.
Hold on, let me look up on my phone.
Happens every time around this time of year. Get a little asthma in my chest here.
I'll look on my phone
But,
for
good to go. And we're gonna have a great workshop today. I do have my co-host Thomas Mikey Jensen on board, and Thomas is my partner in United Family of Anomaly Hunters, and so it's going to be really amazing when he comes on, because he's going to actually show you the technique and method used to find the anomalies and actually analyze them and even enhance them. So you're going to actually be taught today how we go look for the anomalies, how we access them, what technology is capturing these images, what kind of technology is uploading and downloading this data to the servers, how we get into that, and
that's where it's going to cover everything from
scan for them, find them.
The ancient civilization to the higher consciousness. Just go to the homepage. Because I saw it. Go down a little bit, like to continue watching. Go over. I'll continue watching. Yeah. Again.
What the fuck is this?
That's the halls of Amenti. That was the regeneration chambers. All right, go down. It should say ancient mystery schools. Keep on going down.
Mystery school.
Go down more. Keep on going. Keep on going.
That's the bottom.
What the hell? Go up. What the hell? Yeah. All right. There you go. Egyptian Mystery School. The first one. The first episode.
All right, bet.
That's what I was gonna put. Yeah. We straight with that. It'll cover everything. And the person that produced the show, Dame Dash.
And thank you also for your patience. By the way, we sent somebody to get more water.
Go ahead, put it up. I'll mute myself.
Water here very shortly. And your lunch will be here in about an hour and a half, and that does include water as well. Okay. So I know that you guys said stand outside, and it was kind of
the audio is gonna get louder. We're gonna fix it.
And also, thanks for coming out. Thanks for taking the opportunity to take part in this journey. This is the very first one, and as you know, sometimes the first time you do something, get a little bit of a rough beginning, just getting everything set up and all the technology right. But we're all set up now. We're ready to go. We are going to record this for prosperity, and we're going to probably use some clippings from this to show on the network to promote the next one and the next one and the next one, so forth and so on. So you guys are basically really the very first group ever to come to this school. See a very diverse crowd. This is, really, for me, it's really exciting because it takes courage to be able to have interest in these topics. It's not easy for it's all we need to know. So it's really it takes a lot of courage, and it's a long road, and sometimes it can be a very lonely road too. Even still, currently right now, that I'm going to give today are going to be building blocks for tomorrow. Anytime you go into something now, so I will be putting out a lot of fresh new videos, a lot of edited quality videos and branded videos as well.
What's up?
If you don't know who I am, my name is Billy Carson.
He's introducing himself. Right there. Like right there. Go back. Go back. No.
Why are we talking about the Emerald Tablets?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, I'm going to cover that too. Yeah. Well, absolutely. So what we're going to do is save the questions to the end, but you are absolutely right. We do have billions of magnetite crystals in our brain, and unfortunately, due to a genetic modification about 200,000 years ago, we have not really been able to successfully utilize it. We're just now entering back into the era where we're tapping back into that capability. A lot of people call us, indigo children and so forth and so on. Some people just have that natural sense of intuition and ability to feel things psychically. But overall, the majority of people don't have that, and they should be able to. It should be a standard thing. It should be
Stretch it.
Okay.
The norm. So today we're going to be covering the Osirian initiation, the Emerald Tablets. We're going to talk about Thoth the Atlantean. And why are we talking about the Emerald Tablets and Thoth the Atlantean? We're going to touch on those two topics and some of the esoteric wisdom about it. Because why? Because Thoth is one of the founders of the original mystery school. Okay? This is important. This is where, and we're going to talk about this, a lot of other people have been initiated in this mystery school that was created by Thoth the Atlantean himself. The land of Chem, we'll touch on that, and we'll probably be able to get to the origin of mystery schools as well. So these are just some of the topics. Eventually, we're going to cover the language of light. So we're going to be talking about light waves, light frequency, electromagnetic waves, how they communicate with the universe, how they communicate with you, how you can create frequencies and vibrations that help control your reality tunnel. We're going to talk about alchemy, law of attraction, how it really and truly works. The power of law of attraction. We're going to get really metaphysical on it, and we're going to talk about the mystery of Giza. Okay, so it's a lot of content, a lot of information to go over. So, 1 second. Let's talk a little bit about secret societies first, because one thing that a lot of people don't know, secret societies originally were the mystery school. Just like you have good and you have bad. Well, they started out really, really good. And once these quote-unquote gods disappeared, which are really people that have advanced technology and advanced knowledge, spiritual wisdom, once they appeared for us to have disappeared or left us to ourselves, people who were in these schools continued them, but over time they became more evil. Kind of like how you see the Jedi Knights in Star
I wouldn't
Wars.
say more evil. I would say like more
the Jedi Knight,
radicalized.
the Jedi Order.
Like almost like anything, like any religion, almost any like orientation of religion. I think over time people get radicalized and they believe it word for word versus, some of the analogies and metaphorical like parts of the languages get lost in translation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but as we go further into the mystery schools, it's gonna explain all this stuff.
All right, bet. Let's check it
So
out.
it's explaining what's the meaning of a secret society and like what was the start of that. So the start, like the original quote unquote secret society, was the Egyptian mystery schools, which taught like they called it ancient mysteries, but really it was science.
Got you.
So
Let me check this out.
it's
Or
not-
like alchemy or something like that. They used to practice more alchemy than anything.
No. But alchemy in their sense was the ancient magic, which
Yeah,
was science. It was literally science. Alchemy is science.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were their like they were a more advanced civilization. They were before the flood
Hmm.
and after the Great Flood.
All right, bet. Let's check it out. Let's see some more.
And you have people using the force for good, and then you have people using the force for bad. Same exact concept. Where do you think they got it from? A secret society is a society whose membership, proceedings, or teachings are secret, concealed from non-members or otherwise not open to the general public. Secret societies typically accept new members only by initiation rituals, which frequently bind the initiate by various oaths not to reveal the secrets of the society to non-members. The initiations are sometimes multiplied so that there are a variety of degrees or additional credentials that the members can achieve or progress through. These may take the form of an inner circle or a group of adepts or the elect, sharing further secrets that are not communicated to other members. Secret handshakes, passwords, and other symbols are taught to the initiates to enable them to be recognized by other members without giving away the secret. The secrecy aspect of the societies is overrated because the secrets are often known, or at least similar to known, in other secret societies. This is especially true for the many organizations, which are appendage bodies or college fraternities, for example, that are a derivative of Freemasons whose rights are well documented. College fraternities actually need to have a large degree of non-secrecy because they compete with each other for new members. But secret societies also frequently feature social networking, and the membership in the society acts as a recommendation to members and may cause the members to be preferred over other non-members in employment opportunities and appointed positions. Because of these features, secret societies often...
So pretty much he's explaining that a secret society is anything that's a group of people that conspire against another group of people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got you. So
We could skip that if you want. It's not
Alright,
really
bet.
like.
So should we start it like?
I'm trying to see, like, start when he actually starts talking about.
Because this seems like his. This seems like the introduction.
Yeah.
So should we start on episode
He
2?
starts talking about some stuff, though. I'm trying to find out where. So just find where he starts talking about the actual, like. the
Well,
good
he's
shit.
getting into something, but the problem is,
Yeah.
is more
He's
so
talking
the
about it.
definition wise. He's setting standards of what he's going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the stem of these secret societies, the same ones that got John F. Kennedy killed for talking about it, putting it into it. A variety of mystery religions existed in the ancient world, such as the mysteries of Demeter and Eleusis and Mithras and Orpheus. Morpheus. You see where they get this stuff from, guys? Initiates underwent a number of secret rituals to join these cults, swearing terrible oaths to keep the proceedings secret and inviolate, and as well as result in substance of their beliefs and the nature of their ritual has been almost entirely lost. The gap in knowledge generates a great deal of speculation. And early Christianity, with its initiatory ritual of baptism, resembles these ancient mystery religions in some ways. So let's look at a couple of them. Skull and Bones, you probably heard of these. The founders, Frederick Ellsworth, Phineas Timothy Miller, William Huntington, Taft, Alfonso Taft, George Ingersworth. I mean, all these names, a lot of you guys know about these conspiracies, but these are actually real and well documented. Where was it held? Yale University. Why? The secret society was formed after a dispute between several debating societies at Yale, so they created Skull and Crossbones. But they utilized the information from the Egyptian mysteries. They're feared because members are known as bonesmen, use their bonds of power and influence to make their way up through the ranks of America's elite. So, just like I said before, you can use this information for good or bad. And what they've done is if you're a part of this inner group, this inner circle, anything that you need and want, business-wise or personally, this group makes it happen by just pressing a couple of buttons. You have the Illuminati. The Illuminati was formed in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt. Now, this is something that people need to know. The Illuminati wasn't here since the very beginning of time. Only the concepts were here since the beginning of time, but they took them and fine-tuned them. Famous alleged members, Barack Obama, Jay-Z, Madonna. Now, this is all fake. I'm just telling you right now. The reason why I'm reading this is because I want to know.
I can tell you personally, I'm not in the Illuminati.
Yeah. This is, I want
Like, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And some real smart people have said I'm in the Illuminati.
Yeah, I know. No, they tell me all the time. But I want people to know when you see stuff like this, and I put it up here on purpose, because I want you to know when you see these names up here on this Illuminati list, first of all, the Illuminati is a very small size group of people, 5 or 6 people at the very, very top of the pyramid. Then you have about another maybe 100 people underneath that. But these people are extremely, extremely elite people that maneuver in ways in the darkness. And they are not people like Jay-Z, Barack Obama, and Beyonce and Dame.
Yeah, that's their puppets. And I think that the Illuminati is just alright, so think of it like the Division, right? And check me out, right? The Division was a subsect of different government organizations that all came together under a moment of crisis. I feel like the Illuminati is an umbrella term for multiple different conspiracy organizations that work together towards the same goal of unifying the world under one world order. That's what I think. And everything that's been happening for the last whatever years has been a purposeful plot to destroy everything.
Dash and myself and all those other kind of, I've been called a clone, I've been called the Illuminati, remember everything else. It's a private club, guys, and like the comedian says, we're not in it. Okay, we're not in that club.
Where's the money at if I'm in it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I'll tell you, it's a good old boys club, and there's not a lot of minorities in it at all. I don't think there's any minorities in it, pretty much. So I wanted to get that out there because it's something I felt like, the thing that I hear a lot on TV or some of these videos on YouTube and some of the social media is that, there's cloned rappers and, these people are in the Illuminati and so forth and so on. It's all not true. The people who are in the Illuminati at the very top of that food chain, you'll probably never meet them, you never know who they are. A lot of them are just behind the scenes, hiding in the shadows. And it's not famous people on the front street now. Do they utilize the potential of people that are already in existence that have power over genres of people? Yes, of course. That's what any businessman would do. But these people themselves are not in the Illuminati. Just wanted to get that out there because I'm tired of people DMing me and contacting me, asking me if these people are in the Illuminati or not. No, and there's no such thing as a cloned rapper. It doesn't exist. Freemasons, 1717, founder, 4 English lodges. Now the Freemasons really date all the way back to the time of Amun-Ra when he was actually supposedly walking amongst the earth with the people. He mostly ruled from his skyship or the sun disk, according to the Egyptian glyphs and some writings in the Book of the Dead. Amun-Ra very rarely came down to be around people. And Akhenaten used to worship him and call him the Aten, or the sun god. But ironically, he had these people that he had created, or genetically modified, I would say, that became the Masons. And they were some of the builders for his kingdom. And these builders were the originators of this Freemasonry. And it was all about building in science, information, technology into stone buildings in a way that harnessed energies and powers, that harnessed frequencies and vibrations that basically were able to allow the person that rules over that building or owns that structure to generate realities that they're looking to pursue or their agenda that they want to occur. They literally discovered that there's a way, these ancient Egyptians, I mean really not Egyptians, they're really ancient Kemetic people, and the people of the ancient Atlantis were the originators of this mindset. The ability to understand that buildings harness information, digital information from the ether of space-time. They also harness frequencies and vibrations that, based on the conscious intent of the building of the structure, can actually create an outcome that you're looking for. In other words, buildings can cast spells. Buildings can cast spells, and this is one of the biggest mysteries out there. So, for example, when you look at places like Washington, D.C., and you look at it from the sky view, looking down, you realize the way that the roads are laid out and the structures are laid out. And then you take that same exact layout and look at Cydonia on Mars from the Mars Curiosity rover or the Mars Global Surveyor missions. You begin to realize that it's basically the same exact layout. Okay, so what are they trying to say there? Then when you look at some of the other images or other buildings that are built there, you begin to realize that it has a lot of Egyptian architecture to it. And no matter where you go around the world, you begin to see this Egyptian architecture on these public buildings and these courthouses and so forth. And why is that? Well, they discovered that they can hide a lot of information and mysteries into the building structure itself. And where did they get that from? We're going to go over that. They got it from Thoth the Atlantean. He was one of the very...
What? Alright. That nigga started sounding crazy towards the end. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You gotta put the second episode.
Alright, I'm gonna put the second episode.
It's going to get into it for real. But this is real shit though. The ancient Sumerian tablets, bro. It's an actual thing. It's in the British Museum, bro. It's Sumerian tablets from like 6,000-7,000 years ago.
Well, everybody knows about the Sumerian tablets. I'm just saying his interpretation of it is a little weird.
Nah, but that's the true interpretation of it. It's not his. It's the translation of it.
No, I'm talking about him saying buildings have
building structure itself. And where did they get
this
that
shit
from?
right here.
We're going to go over that. They got it from Thoth the Atlantean. He was one of the very first people documented on this planet to do it because of the mysteries and secret sciences that he built into a giant multifunctional stone computer that we know as the Great Pyramid of Giza. You have Bohemian Grove. I mean, I can go on and on. I'm just going to go through these. Bilderberg Group, which some of you have heard of. These are all based off of the Mystery School's teachings. So, actual secret societies would be Bohemian Grove, college fraternities, Freemasonry, the Hellfire Club, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Knights Templar, Ku Klux Klan, Opus Dei, Order of Sharona, Order of Solar Temple, Organized Crime, Scientology, Skull and Bones, the historical thugs, believe it or not, Triads, the Inimical Courts, the Committee of 300, the Great White Brotherhood, the Illuminati, the New World Order, the Occult Claves, Priority of Sion, the Rosicrucians, and the Trilateral Commission. All of those are secret societies. So, like I was talking about earlier, the Force. What is this Force? I don't know if some of you have seen the post that I made maybe several times over the last few years on Forbidden Knowledge and on my other accounts about Yoda, and he's there with Luke Skywalker. It was a young Luke Skywalker, Star Wars episode, and he walks up to Skywalker and he pinches his shoulder and says, "This body is just crude matter," you know. And he's talking about the power is inside of you. You're trying to rely on the physical body to accomplish goals in the physical world. In order to accomplish things in the physical world, you have to go to inner space, and you have to realize that you're more than just this physical body, because the physical body has limitations, but your spirit being has no limitations. And that was the point that he was trying to get across. What happened was one of the ships had crashed into a bog on a planet somewhere, and they climbed out, but they couldn't get the ship out of the water. And so he tells Luke Skywalker to use the Force to get this ship out of the water, and Skywalker wasn't able to do it because he was thinking about physicality. And then Yoda tells him it's not about physicality, it's about your inner self. You have to use the Force. You have to see the connection between you, the ship, the land, space. Everything is connected. When you understand that we're on a power grid, we all are living on a grid, and there is no separation. Separation is an illusion. We're all directly connected on this power grid right now. And me standing up here talking to you guys is actually me up here talking to myself. And vice versa. When you're talking to somebody, you're only talking to yourself. There's only one consciousness. There's only one life force, only one energy, only one divine source of energy. What happens is it has divided itself into trillions of entities to experience itself subjectively from different perspectives and points of view. And when you realize this, then you begin to realize when you're talking to somebody, either you're talking to yourself, now you might be able to operate in unconditional love. This is in the ancient Egyptian teachings.
Because what happens is when you're dealing with somebody in a very negative way, in a very hurtful way, you're now hurting another aspect of your own self. So this is one of the famous sayings: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the actual true saying. It sounds like a very simple lesson to learn, but it's a very difficult lesson. It's a very difficult thing to actually utilize in your everyday life, because people will find ways to trigger you, various different ways to trigger you, or by purpose, sometimes even on accident. And you can trigger a response from somebody every now and then. But when you understand that the energy inside of you is that life force energy, and you have the choice every single time, and every choice has a consequence. This is something else that we have to understand. Every single choice you make has a consequence. Now, it could be a good consequence or a bad consequence, okay? So this morning, you made the choice to get up, get dressed, and come to mystery school. This is your consequence is going to be you're going to gain some information that hopefully you can utilize in your life and maybe share with somebody. If you woke up this morning and said, forget it, I'm not going to go, then the consequence would have been that maybe you didn't come, and maybe you didn't get some valuable information that could have helped change the future of your life, your kid's life, or somebody else's life. So it doesn't have to always be a bad thing, but every choice you make will have a consequence, period. That's just the way it is. Let's look at the Osirian initiation. The great work of the ancient mysteries, and hence the philosophic initiation, was and still is for the seeker to prove himself the truth of these teachings. In the analysis of the Egyptian mysteries, by the light of our arcane knowledge, we find that the cornerstone of knowledge, which is actually a wisdom gained through initiation, had its foundation in the certainty that the first great cause for existence itself was spirit. That the first only element was the soul, and this soul existed eternally and filled infinity. By the power of its own will, the soul divided itself into emanations, or many separate individuals or souls, and being from God or part of God, its own inherent capacity for creation, the unresting or eternally restless element of force, was evolved. Following this came matter, which moving on the oceans of chaos created form and enveloped an evolved or established order. Hence it is said, with the truth, and those seeking to attain the ultimate should remember this saying in all its applications, that order is heaven's first law, because confusion or chaos always follows disobedience. He who refuses to obey this law will be destroyed. In order of creation, the fiery particles of matter ascended. It was written that heaven is above, to form the luminous bodies. The heavier bodies descended, ultimately separated into earth, seas, plants, animals, and finally into entities which became men. This earth plane is what we know as hell, or temporal, not temporary, but temporal, the ever-changing and constantly suffering plane of existence. It is the below into which souls fall to gain wisdom and understanding by experiencing both joy and suffering from the eternal or cosmic soul. The soul preceded successive emanations of the spiritual third density beings, more or less elevated according to their particular status of ascent or descent in the grand scale of the spiritual 3D kingdom. And what this basically means is we are all part of this spirit world that I was telling you about before, or this one consciousness, this divine energy that exists outside this universe, not in the universe, but outside this universe. And basically, when you hear about these fallen angels, this is literally something that was copied over from ancient Osirian initiation, which this is actually a true initiation here, scripture. It was copied over into more modern texts like the modern day Bible and many others. To be that angels fell from heaven and because they were kicked out and so forth. It's actually not true. What really happened was the fallen angels are really the divine energy, the universal consciousness that decided to divide itself into multiple entities and come down and take the form of bodies. And that's what Thoth talks about as well in the Emerald Tablets. He talks about advanced beings from other dimensions seeking to experience the third dimension and take and basically collect information. What we are here for is a data collection mission. The deeper I get into these ancient Egyptian mysteries, the more I discover that we're literally on a mission of data collection. And so if we get a little scientific about it now, let's just talk about biology and also as above, so below, which is a little bit of a Hermetic principle. But if you look at, I'm going to tell you how the divine energy of the universe operates. So look at it on a smaller scale. Look at your own body. You have a brain. Some of you maybe heard me say this. You have a brain encased in darkness. Your brain literally has no clue what's going on the outside? Nothing. It knows nothing. It's just encased in darkness, connected to a stem, and it's got some nerves connected to it. It knows nothing. How does the brain get information? Your brain has friends. Hearing, sight, smelling, touch, all your senses, right? So your brain says to its friends, hey guys, do me a favor. Go out there and collect information. Collect me digital bits of data that I can analyze. So the friends go, okay. Now the friends go out, hearing, sight, smell, touch. They go out and they actually what? They collect information. But the friends, they literally cannot decipher the information for themselves. They have no clue what they've collected. No clue. They just say, let me grab this data. I got the data. Let me bring it back to my friend. They go back to the brain and go, here, boom. Here's the data you asked for. The brain takes that information, sorts it all out, and then projects a hologram of what's going on out here, and you navigate through the third-dimensional holographic matrix based on that holographic projection. And this is how you navigate through the third dimension. You know, so we are really emanating from another source. The brain doesn't create consciousness, it downloads it. The brain doesn't create consciousness, it downloads
Okay.
it. So, and what does that really mean?
So he's saying that
Well,
everybody's
scientists did an experiment.
consciousness comes from like a digital source, like basically God put electrical waves in everyone, and those electrical waves are recycled, and that's what we call a soul, because we are nothing but a downloaded copy of ourselves that get reset after a certain amount of years. Because that's what I'm getting from it. You still with me, Sean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm here. You hear me?
I thought your ass passed out for a second.
No, because I got it muted and I got my phone up. So I'm just like watching it.
I got you. Yeah.
It's gonna get into everything. Like later in the later episode, you're gonna actually like, oh damn, okay.
All right.
It's just like it's still getting into everything.
I got you.
Where they took people and put them in a room. Now, this experiment was an accidental result. They were looking to see if they put a cap on your brain with sensors to see what would happen if your brain was looking at a picture of an ocean or a bed of roses. What would that look like on a computer screen? What would it look like if you were looking at somebody in distress? What does that look like from the brain? So they would connect you to a computer, and they would put these images up 10 seconds apart. And they did this to dozens of people. So what started happening is they would show a picture of a rose, a picture of an ocean, a picture of somebody getting murdered. Then it would go back to something serene again, something kind of emotional. And they were getting these readouts. After about 2 minutes, the brain started projecting to the computer what the next image was going to be before the image even showed up on the screen. Up to 7 seconds in advance. Think about that. So up to 7 seconds in advance, the brain is already getting information as to what's happening in the future. Or is it really the future? One of the biggest things in Egyptian mysteries is that we're not living in current time. We're not living in real time. We're actually living slightly in the past. Things are happening ahead of us right now, currently, as I'm standing up here talking to you guys, that are going to happen within the next 7 seconds. Your brain is literally downloading, and where's the source coming from? Most likely, we're getting information directly from the divine source itself, this universal consciousness, this divine energy, this energy that emanates throughout the entire universe that we're calling dark energy and dark matter. Well, we're only calling them dark because we can't see them with our visual perception. We have a very short range of visual perception as human beings. But everything in the third dimension is made of light. It's nothing here but electromagnetic waves. If you take an electromagnetic wave and you slow down the frequency and add a conscious viewer to it, you then get particles of matter. This has been scientifically proven. This is quantum physics, quantum mechanics. It's called the double slit experiment. The ancients have been talking about this for eons. We're just now catching up by doing modern experiments. So if you take a box and put 2 microscopic slits in it, and you put a photon shooter in the back of that box, or a particle shooter, and shoot 1 particle at a time towards these 2 slits, what happens is when it goes through the slit, without you looking, on the back wall, it will create an interference pattern, which shouldn't happen. Because if you're shooting an individual particle, how can it create an interference pattern? That means it went through both slits at the same time. This is the quantum world. Okay? Now, if you put a camera to observe the particle going through the slits to see what the heck is happening, all of a sudden it only goes through 1 slit and create a a digital pattern on the back wall. Okay? So this is called a double slit experiment, but this is based off of ancient knowledge, something that the ancients knew eons and eons ago, that we're living in what they call a dream world. Okay? And that when you die is when you really wake up. Okay? When this avatar body ceases to exist and function, its energy, these atoms are recycled back into this third dimensional system, but you release your spiritual essence. And that spiritual essence is right now just temporally means in time, temporally encased in this avatar prison. But through learning the deep Egyptian mysteries and learning the information of Thoth the Atlantic, you have the capability of realizing that you can actually leave and exit this temporarily. You can exit this avatar body, and you can do something called astral travel. You can also do something that I practice, which is called remote viewing. And remote viewing is powerful. In astral travel, you send your spirit body out of your body. Okay, this has been actually kind of really documented. They can actually see a weight difference when somebody astral travels. A few grams disappears from the total body mass. And then when they come back, the grams reappear again. Right? This has been done many times over in science labs. The children still trying to figure out. It's mind-boggling to them. And Thoth talks about the fact that he was able to astral travel and go to other planets and watch civilizations rise and fall. So he's outside of space, outside of time. Once you enter a higher dimension, other than the third, once you go higher than the third dimension, the past, present, and future all happen at the same time. Okay? They all happen at once. It's almost like we're in this building, and imagine that I'm in this room, but I'm also doing something different in that room, and I'm also doing something different in that room, but I'm in the same building. And I'm doing these things all simultaneously. This is really what we're actually doing right now. All possibilities are all happening congruently, concurrently, all at once. Okay? So it's a real powerful thing, a real powerful concept to try to grasp and understand. But this is part of the initiation to the Osirian initiation, and understanding that Osiris is actually representing the Orion star cluster, which is where a lot of these beings came from. This is Osiris. Now, no matter where you go, you're going to find out that Osiris is a green person, a green hominid, a person that looks like us, walks like us, talks like us, obviously has a lot more knowledge than us, a lot more wisdom and understanding, but he's always green. And we're going to go a little bit about why he's green. I think that he was also green in color, in natural color, but also, and because that he was green in color, and one of the first people to create this Osirian initiation, everything else from there became green, like the emerald tablets. The meaning of green in ancient Egypt. The word waj, green, also means to flourish, to be healthy. The hieroglyph represented the papyrus plant, which as well was the green stone malachite. The color green represented vegetation, new life, and fertility. In an interesting parallel with modern terminology, actions which preserved the fertility of the land or promoted life were described as green. Earth and fertility gods such as Geb and Osiris are depicted with green skin, indicating their power to encourage growth of vegetation. However, the ancient Egyptians recognized the cycle of growth and decay, and so green was also associated with death and the power of resurrection. So again, right here in the ancient world, we're still talking about reincarnation. This has been a fact they've talked about, that they believe exists since ancient times. Osiris was a god of the dead whose wife, Isis, magically conceived a son named Horus, and the ancient Egyptians believed that he could help them make their way to the eternal paradise, which bore a striking resemblance to their earthly lives. This wonderful place was sometimes called the Field of Malachite, or the Green Field. So green is a very important color in ancient Egypt, and you can see why now that the emerald tablets were green, and there was also a lot of green gems that were used. It's always, the ancients really like jade. Green is a powerful, powerful color. It's why they made our money green in America. They know how to use the power of the ancients against us. The ancient Egyptians were the first to write about Orion and place him into their mythologies. They associate the stars of Orion with Osiris, the sun god of rebirth and afterlife, and one of the most important gods of the ancient Egyptians. Orion was considered the abode of Osiris following his resurrection. In other words, they're saying after he passed, his spirit body went back to that star cluster. Isis dwelt on Sirius. In Egyptian mythology, Osiris was murdered and dismembered by his jealous brother, Seth, then briefly brought back to life by his sister and consort Isis. So his sister and his wife were really the same person, to father the god Horus. So let me tell you the story. So this is one of the biggest mysteries of Osiris and why he became so famous in the mysteries and everything else, and why he was kind of been revered. Now, it really begs the question, was he even a real being that just had, in terms of, I know his spirit body was real, but were his body parts real? Some of these entities, these beings, they live for tens of thousands of years. And he got into a battle with his brother, and his body was torn into pieces, like limb from limb. Arm here, arm there, leg off, this off. And all those pieces, including his manhood, was taken off as well. And then all buried in various different places, random spots. And his wife was able to track down these body parts, which is amazing to me. I mean, what type of technology do you use to track down a body part? Maybe these body parts had tracking devices in them, or were made from materials that they had the capability of scanning for. I'm not sure. Maybe they just were that far advanced. But she found the body parts piece by piece, and she reassembled Osiris. And that's an amazing claim to make. And when I hear these types of claims in the ancient past, where some people would just brush it off as, oh, they're just making stuff up, or we don't know what they're trying to say, I think they know exactly what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that she found these body parts and put them back together, and he was a functioning human being again. She even reattached his manhood, and it worked. And then they gave birth to Horus. So that's some great technology. I know, what's that guy named? Bobbit or Babbitt or whatever his name was. He could have used that. But only the older people know about that story. Yeah, I just aged myself here. But it's an amazing story. A lot of people try to say that these are just all allegories and stories and myths, but I truly believe that there's some truth to this information. Not all myths are just made up stuff. And a lot of the stuff that they keep telling us are myths to program us to thinking that it was all fake and made up are really the truth. And the life that we're living here now is really the myth. We're living in a myth.
Yeah, I can see why some people call him crazy. He has some points, though. He had a point about the green thing. It makes sense. But a lot of the other stuff that he was saying, I gotta see more to actually realize what he was actually getting at. You know what I'm saying, Sean? Guap. Oh, I think I lost Sean. That man passed out. He was telling Vito not to pass out, and he passed out. This one got 10 million views. Let's check this out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures. And the stones are immense, and some of them were cut from a quarry that's hundreds of miles away. How do you think they did that?
Well, some of them, the granite in the Great Pyramid comes from more than 500 miles to the south. If you look at the famous King's Chamber, its walls and its roof are, the ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic granite blocks.
Stunning detail.
Stunning detail. Those blocks on the roof of the King's Chamber weigh 70 tons each. Now, Egyptologists will tell you that, they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Well, maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do. But when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all. I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking again at a lost technology. And it was this ancient apocalypse 12,800 years ago that wiped that from the human memory banks almost completely, not entirely completely because there were
some type
survivors,
of Armageddon. It had to be. I truly believe that there was some type of Armageddon, like the flood or something that happened, and because of that, we just had ignorant man. Man didn't really know much, and that's what it was. Honest men survived, and those honest men really didn't pay attention to much, and because of that, we had to relearn everything.
Removed most of it. Randall will tell you, sea level rise, it creates a powerful high energy zone. Anything that was existing on those flooded coastlines has just been pounded to hell. I mean, talk about it, Randall.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot more energetic than now. I mean, imagine your sea level rising at 3 or 4 times at least faster than we've seen rise in the last century. And within there, juxtaposed are these episodes of very rapid sea level rise. So you're talking about a very energetic intertidal zone. And anything that's there, short of large megalithic blocks, is going to be utterly obliterated by the time the process is through. And I think that this is one of the things that, you know, the archaeologists and the prehistorians, people are looking at that, have failed to take into account the severity of these events we're talking about. Because the question always is, where are the artifacts? Where's the pottery? Where is the evidence that this civilization existed? And I have 2 responses to that. One, you don't realize the extent of the total remodeling of this planetary surface that took place. Because, I mean, we could get into some of the stuff here. I have tons of images where I think maybe we'll get a chance.
I'm pretty sure that shit was washed away in the flood. We had an ice age not too long after the flood. And because of that, I feel like said things are still either at the bottom of the ocean, at the very bottom of the depths of the ocean, or they're sitting in an ice block right now somewhere in the Antarctic, and we're just waiting for it to melt out.
To pull up a couple of really awesome drone footage here before we're done. But once you begin to wrap your head around this, you go, really? You know, it's like, imagine that you drop an atomic bomb on a city, and it completely obliterates it. And then a short while later, you drop another one on the same place. What's going to be left? And then 10,000 years, 20,000 years goes by. What are you going to what are you going to find? What are you going to look for? You know, it's going to be just rubble that gets reincorporated just into the geological stratum, and it's going to be very difficult to differentiate, for example, from what's called a conglomeratic rock, which is basically we have just a huge jumble of broken rock cemented together. Right? Now, within there could be all kinds of stuff that's not even recognized as being artificial in the sense that humans had anything to do with it. The other thing is when we talk about these ancient technologies, if we're only looking for a mere reflection of ourselves, we could overlook it completely, because I think there's evidence that exists now. I mean, some modern researchers whose work has been buried or suppressed, I think we're getting very close to rediscovering some of the things that our ancient ancestors were up to. And maybe this would be worth a whole show in itself. We could dive into this, and I don't want to get into that today.
But what kind of technologies are you talking about?
Well, I shouldn't really get into that.
Get into it.
Get into
Come
it,
on.
Randall.
We got to get into it.
Okay, well.
We've opened the door, sir.
He was like, are you bullshitting me?
Well, okay.
The passing of the HDMI cable.
The passing.
A sacred moment.
Well, there are people out there now who have been working on trying to rediscover that. And again, I don't want to digress too much into this now, because I would really rather be able to give a whole treatment of it. And it might kind of derail us a little bit from.
Oops, shit. Well, all right, guys. My co-host fell asleep. I'm about to pass out. I will see you guys in the morning for Stellar Blade. Thank you for stopping by. I hope I see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.